What's up, everyone? You are listening to Beyond the Ring podcast. I am Thejas, and welcome to the Reliving the 80s Classics, where we currently cover Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling episodes. So today we are going to focus on the 27th Feb 1982 show, and this show was taped on 24th Feb 1982 at WPCQ TV Studios in Charlotte, North Carolina. If you want to check out the past episode reviews, I have created a separate playlist for that long ago. So guys, you can check out from that. Before we get into this episode, guys, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. So guys, let's get into this then. So we had show the kickoff with Bob Caudle and Roddy Piper. They are on commentary, and Roddy Piper has been a welcoming change to the Mid-Atlantic area, and ever since here he has been on commentary. Yeah, it was good. But this episode we didn't have the full match of whole show wasn't we didn't had Roddy Piper, you can say. Only 1-2 match we had Roddy Piper, uh, and then David Crockett also was on commentary actually. So we began the episode with Sergeant Slaughter joining the show and says he's the United States Heavyweight champion, and he for how many long he says, and he wants to have a crack at the World Championship. That's Ric Flair. So they also said that they will show a video why he should be the World Heavyweight Champion. We get to the first match. Terry Taylor versus David Patterson, a good wrestling work match, I would say. I liked it. It was okay match as an overall match. If you see, both were skilled in wrestling techniques. So I like the counter arrangements and the arm drags, and you can say that control maneuvers and catching up with your arm and limb. So that was good, I would say. And we had this week we had Austin Idol as well, showing up in studio, starts filming match with his own camera. So he was also there in this episode doing the whole same thing as last week. The match was okay to begin with, I would say. Winner, we got Terry Taylor when he actually got with a forearm of the ropes on Patterson with a stretch into the pin for the win, and that was the winner. And we get to next match, Private Don Kernodle and Private Jim Nelson versus Mike Davis and Vinny Valentino. So Private Don Kernodle is a new guy who actually joined the Sergeant Slaughter's army. Private Jim Nelson is already onto it, so he has recruited another guy. So it's excuse me, it's great to see him getting added. It's great to see Sergeant Slaughter's story continuing with new guys recruiting. So that was good, and already his character is one of the best in Mid-Atlantic, and he's one of the entertaining guy who makes the show entertaining, you can say. So Mike Davis and Vinny Valentino had a hard time, you can say, in this match. And by looking at this match card, you can say that Don Kernodle and Private Jim Nelson got the victory here. The match was good, but the structure wasn't that good, because they were kind of stretching out the match with face having a comeback first, and then again having a control, and then having after a stretch of time, you can say, again have come back. And then at the end of the day, you know that these two private guys are going to win. So they actually stretch this match to a whole extent, you can say full extent, for just, you can say, filling in the time, that we would say. But it was good. The ending was good when they actually had a top rope clothesline, and then Davis actually submit him with a cobra clutch, and that was the match. Private Don Kernodle and Private Jim Nelson got the victory. Sergeant Slaughter joins Bob Caudle and praises his new recruits, and that he has taken Don Kernodle and Private Jim Nelson, and talks about a match between Ricky Steamboat and Ric Flair, because he wants to have that chance for the NWA World Heavyweight title. And Flair told Slaughter to get away from him, and he then challenged Ricky Steamboat for a title shot, because Ricky Steamboat versus Ric Flair, this title match, they have been actually touting this match for 4 to 5 weeks right now. So that match hasn't been we are not going to see in the TV, I think so. I don't know, but let's see if we can get catch up with that match. We will sure review that match in the one of the Mid-Atlantic episode. So he then challenged Ricky Steamboat. If he wins, he will be challenging Ricky Steamboat for the title if he wins. So that's a challenge that Sergeant Slaughter made. Sergeant Slaughter, I mean, he's very cool, and he's very good to looking him speak and listening him to him, and it's one of the entertaining thing. And they show, and then the highlights from Sergeant Slaughter attacking Ricky Steamboat during his world title match against Ric Flair. So then I actually known that they had this match, and then Sergeant Slaughter attacked Ricky Steamboat. Ric Flair comes up, kind of saving, but Nelson and Kernodle also come up and attacks Ric Flair. Then we had other guys that is coming up from the back. The footage wasn't clear, so I didn't know who it was. But Steamboat runs in with a chair to get all three men out of the ring, and more wrestlers come up to help. And that was the segment. The segment was very cool. One of the best segment of this episode, which was very very fun. The fun thing was waiting actually, because after that we saw Private Colonel and Jim Nelson join Bob Caudle and Sergeant Slaughter and gave them strict orders that they will do are what they have said. And Nelson said they were cowards and made Slaughter look like a fool, so they had to get even with both of them. And Kernodle said that all Slaughter wanted to do was congratulate Steamboat, but Steamboat attacked him. And Kernodle then says that it takes a special man to take on Sergeant Slaughter's orders and to be a Marine. So they were kind of glad and very blessed to be a part of the army of Sergeant Slaughter. So that was the segment. The segment was great, and if you want to check out, guys, please do check out this segment. And then we get to Roddy Piper coming up asking Bob Caudle if he can interview Ole Anderson and Stan Hansen, and he starts to interview Jimmy Valiant's music. I don't know why his music was hitting, but he came there and then starts attacking Ole, starts interfering in Ole and Hanson's interview, and then they actually started a brawl, which was too much fun, guys. Which was too much fun. This is not a normal brawl if you see, because this was a very fun brawl, like a kid you're just beating and then just you're running. And Jimmy Valiant, man, he's such an entertainer, and he was so much fun. I literally laughed for uh, actually this was very good. And Hansen then comes in and brawls with Valiant, and Piper then goes wild on the mic that they are just destroying, kind of. You can expect what he says. And Blackjack Mulligan Jr. and Ray Stevens run into even up the sides, you can say. And Jimmy Valiant gets interviewed after this brawl by Bob Caudle, and he thanks Blackjack Mulligan Jr., and the Crippler says he will take on all of them, and he thanked him for coming up to help and all. So that was a great, I would say, great fun segment, great fun brawl you can have. And then we had Mike George versus Mike Miller. So before we get into this match review, guys, I would like to tell you that the whole episode got was good because of this the goons versus the babyface kind of storyline, you can say. Because the heels kind of takes the advantage on the faces when they don't have any side evening. So when they don't have the opportunity to even up the side. So that was the story here, so which was very fun, you can, if you see at that time, and which is a really classic way of storytelling, you can say. And there's still kind of, you can say, reminiscent of those things in this era as well, you can say. So that was the story here. So great, man. Mike George was Mike Miller. The match was pretty okay, you can say. Nothing much to talk about. Mike George got the victory. They were just it was just slow wrestling, you can say, which wasn't very fun. So yeah, pretty okay. And then we got Ray Stevens joining Bob Caudle, and he talks about Ole Anderson and the attack that they have had. And then he also talks about his tag team partner got injured, Pat Patterson. And then Ray Stevens also was not pleased with Sergeant Slaughter, what they did with his attacking Ric Flair and Ricky Steamboat. So that was also touched upon. And then Jake Roberts comes up, and then we had Blackjack Mulligan Jr. Joining as well. They all talk about these things, and they are kind of fighting against these heels, and they were ensuring that they will ensure, they says, that they're going to get revenge against them, they says. And that was the, so it was a storied promo. The storyline makes sense. So the promos were good. The promos were very good in this. The matches were okay, you can say, okay to yeah, pretty fun at times, but it was overall okay, you can say. The promos kind of lived up to this show, you can say. Ron Ritchie versus Bill White. Ron Ritchie got the victory here. White actually tries to slam Ritchie, but he reverses him and rolls him up and gets the victory. But you can say the whole match was controlled by Bill White. His leg work was going on, but Ron Ritchie escaped and got the victory. So it was just a fail time, you can say. Then we get to main event. Ole Anderson and Stan Hansen with Gene Anderson versus Don Gilbert and Kelly Kinski. Kinski is a new guy to Mid Atlantic. They actually said that this is a new guy, so that was there, and the match was pretty okay. You can say Ole and Hansen are a great tag team, man, because they are their world tag team tournament is going on all over the world. So they have been focusing on the tag team matches for 3-4 weeks right now. So it's good. This is one of the better episodes. They actually had not a lot of tag team matches. They had story continuing. The promos were really good, really fun. We got a brawl from Jimmy Valiant. So kind of a balanced episode, you can say. Not a very good, but it was a fun watch, you can say. The match, the main event was pretty good, you can say, and the work that Holly and Hansen did were very good. But they were just Don Gilbert, Kelly Kinski didn't got that much of offense, you can say, and they were just controlling them. So it was one-sided at times, and at the end, you can say Hansen backs him into the ropes, and Gilbert whips him under the ropes, and with the hands and lariato he covers Gilbert for the victory. So that was the match, and then we close out the show with the promo every time, and Ole Anderson, Stan Hansen, and Gene Anderson join Bob Caudle. The heels, the problem makers are on the side of Bob Caudle, and Ole says that they are going to be the most devastating tag team, and it looks like that, man. These are the devastating tag teams. These are two. One is smart and one is just all out brawl, you can expect, and he's going to destroy you. That's talking about Hansen. Stan Hansen screams at him and tells him that they don't want to talk about Jimmy Valiant, what he did, and Ole Anderson says Valiant is like several others because he showed off and he will get what he did, and Hansen says it is Valiant's fault, and Hansen thinks that the lariat and the hook are the most devastating. That word was good, that line was really good, and the delivery was great, man. And I didn't know that Hansen did have a great promo delivery because he was really good. Austin Idol then shows up to close the show and just roaming around, and that was it, guys. This was a fun show. Wrestling was okay, but the Sergeant Slaughter's interview, Jimmy Valiant thing, Ricky Steamboat ring, Ric Flair storyline, and the whole thing, that was good. So overall, it was a pretty fun episode. If you have time, please do catch up with this episode, guys, in the WWE Network. It's on there. So I hope to see you with my next episode next week, guys. Until then, be safe, stay energetic, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace, guys.